Back at you again with another edition of Talk Nerdy to Me. I'm Jack Lutz.
Troy Stegner.
So again, we ask you, do you love comic book movies?
I love comic book movies.
So do I, and getting another reboot. This is reboot after reboot. I think that they hit a home run with this guy because he was so endearing, so funny, and so very thoughtful in the Captain America Civil War film. We're talking about Tom Holland in Spider-Man Homecoming, which will be released July 7th, 2017. Oh, and I was looking this up too. This just in, fresh off the press here, about an hour ago, it's been reported that Tyrone Woodley, the newly crowned UFC welterweight champion, Tyrone Woodley, has been reportedly cast in Spider-Man Homecoming. Who would he play? And looking at this cast already, star-studded, Troy.
Oh, yeah.
Star-studded, man. You want to list off a few people?
Well, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Iron Man, yeah. Marisa Tomei.
Aunt May. Hot Aunt May.
And the big one.
Aunt May gets younger in each reboot.
in each reboot, she's been getting younger and hotter. Yeah. The big one for me, man. The guy that's been near and dear to my heart since I saw him as Batman. He can do no wrong in my
Mr.
eyes.
Beetlejuice himself.
Yeah, hey, everybody. Michael frickin' Keaton as the Vulture. Saw that too. And this is going to be weird. I'm looking at the cast picks here. Donald Glover. It was widely rumored that Donald Glover was in the running for Spider-Man as well a few years back. So I would like to see the turnout of that. Well, people will be asking, is he going to play
Miles Morales? My bet would be Miles Morales because I believe they patterned the character after him.
Sure.
When they drew him. Michael Bendis.
Brian Michael Bendis, yeah. They wrote about him, and the Ultimates, and
and like you said, Spider-Man rebooted again in Civil War, but I think it did so well is because Sony didn't have their.
This is Sony relinquishing a big piece of the pie.
Yeah, they loaned him out for a piece.
Yeah.
So, and it blew up for him. So that was a great decision by Sony to not try to make another crappy Spider-Man.
Look what happens when you start to team up with the House of Ideas.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna work great. And I'm really banking on this too because I got to interview Mr. Holland a few years ago.
Nice.
When he did a film called The Impossible with Ewan McGregor, and such a sweet boy at the time. I forget that he's British.
Young. Yeah, he's still young.
He's what, 20, 19, maybe, 20, something like that? So it's very believable when you see this Peter Parker in high school. That's the one thing that, seeing Tobey Maguire, he looked a little too old for high school, in my opinion. And, the other guy from The Social Network, he was a good Peter Parker. I didn't think he was a good Spider-Man. I think with Tom Holland here, he's a great mixture, Troy, of both the humor and the adventure.
The Spider-Man character in Civil War was one of the highlights for me. I thought that was...
Absolutely.
It was great action and humorous, like Spider-Man is.
Mm-hmm. They tossed the object back over at Bucky, the Winter Soldier, same guy. I think you dropped this. And the exchange between...
You got a metal arm?
Yeah. Him and the Falcon was great.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been in a fight before, kid, but... and
Let's talk.
So they really nailed that down because Spidey loves to get inside your head while he's fighting you.
It's just constant chatter whenever you're fighting him.
And I think I'm more excited about this than I was about The Amazing Spider-Man. And this is another reboot that we're talking about here. Yeah. And I know that so many people out there are sitting there going, "Oh, enough with the reboots, enough with..." This is now Sony working with Marvel. This is now Marvel that's going to say, "Hey, look, this is Spider-Man's been the flagship. Spider-Man has been the face of our company for so many years. It's high time that we do him right."
And Marvel's formula fits right into Spider-Man's whole shtick anyway.
Yeah.
Comedy and action. That's Spider-Man. And
now look at who Spider-Man can work with now that he is going to be in the MCU. There's Thor.
That's true.
Hulk. They can expand
Avengers.
Yeah, and there's just a lot more for him to play with, and a lot more people for him to play with there too. Doctor Strange. We were just talking about Doctor Strange.
Bring him into the X-Men.
Right. Do you think that would ever happen? I think Marvel bringing in.
He was an instructor at one point in one of the comics.
Yeah. And the Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
With the bag on his head.
Future Foundation, yeah. Oh, gosh. But going off on a tangent here, so if Sony can do that with Marvel, do you think Fox can do that with Marvel as well? That's a big question. Fox working with Marvel. Will that happen in our lifetime?
Nobody thought Sony would work with Marvel.
Right.
It worked.
And look what happened. Yeah.
But Fox has been doing well by themselves, so that might be a tougher one to sell.
Yeah. Just something to think about there.
Hope.
Right. Fingers crossed. If I was watching Conan O'Brien, and they were coming out of a movie, Avengers versus X-Men, and the internet loves to go back in time and bring stuff up. Like, look what Conan O'Brien predicted. We're calling it right now. You know what? I'm calling it right now. I will say that eventually Fox will work with the House of Ideas. Fox will work with Marvel sooner rather than later.
What I would like to see is a Spider-Man and Deadpool movie. Those two guys work so well together on paper.
Yeah, that would be.
Deadpool is such a huge fanboy of Spider-Man.
That would, on paper, that's amazing. In comic books, it's amazing when you see that happen. In comic books and in cartoons, it's a sight to behold when you read it and when you see it. As far as celluloid and cinema, man, what would they do? Would it be a rated R film? Would it be PG-13? Could Ryan Reynolds curse? And he would break the fourth wall and say, hey, look, I'm in a PG-13 movie. I can't say this word.
Hold up a little sign.
Yeah. Marvel and Fox could play with that if they so choose.
Yeah. That's future. But with Homecoming, with Keaton as Vulture.
Oh, man.
Don't know who Donald Glover's going to be.
I'm just...
He's a great actor himself.
I'd like to see what's going to happen with Tyrone Woodley, too. So...
It sounds like they're going to bring in more than one villain.
I think so too. I think, that you got to learn your lessons. Anything more than 3, or if you do 3 and more, it's just you're
as long as
stretching
one of
yourself.
them's not Giovanni Ribisi, you're all right.
You're stretching yourself way too thin. Way too thin.
But and they're making Vulture. I don't know if you've seen the costume. They're more modernizing it. He's got the mask and it's not the old dude in a green outfit.
Hey, you know what, man? I'm just happy to see Michael Keaton. As weird as this is going to sound, I'm just happy to see Michael Keaton back in tights. I'm happy to see that here. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. So, okay, Spider-Man Homecoming. Looking it up once again. That's going to be July 7th, 2017. And we got lots of time to make us excited. Boy, oh boy. All right, that'll do it for another edition of Talk Nerd to Me. That was a good one there, another film edition. So be sure to track us down with the El Paso Herald Post. Be sure to track us down with our YouTube channel, Facebook. Oh, and we're on iTunes.
Yes, we are, and Google Play. TalkNerdyPodcast.com. If you just want to hear us and not see us, but I don't know why you want to do that. You can download our podcast.
Look away.
Several places.
Look away from the camera and just listen to us.
It's just,
like my ex does.
If it's too much beauty all at once, do the podcast.
And also a big shout out going out to the Alamo Draft House too.
Yes,
as they let us come in and crash their place and do some movie reviews from time to time.
Yeah,
so
we've been busy. We need to get down there again.
Yeah, we do. Bottomless popcorn, man. I do that. Charged milkshakes. Yeah. All right. That'll do it. I'm Jack Lutz.
Troy Stegner.
Good night.
Sleep tight.